So, like I was saying, I'm reading the comments of my first video, and I just don't know if we're all on the same page. Alright? I said the game could not last for 7 years because it doesn't have neutral. People tell me, I'm just reading the comments, y'all. I ain't got no problem with y'all. I actually appreciate the comments. People tell me that the game, you can't just drop rush in on people. The game has a neutral. Maybe I'm reading it wrong, but I'm reading that there's nothing wrong with the game, and I know it's not the entire world saying there's nothing wrong with the game. Every game has flaws. I'm not even saying that I have a problem with the game. I'm just literally saying that the way as the game has been presented to us now, as fun as it is now, it is literally impossible to continue to be that same amount of fun in 7 years. Alright, and I just traced it down to 2026. That's about the time we'll be tired of this game. And I'm telling you that basically, because you don't have a neutral in this game, you don't have a matchup in this game, you don't have to sit there and learn said matchups, because half of the cast can't even deal with that neutral zone. Or better yet, there's no reason in trying to learn how to get through that landmine to get to your opponent. Case in point, Manon. Manon is a people are calling her a grappler. I don't get why we're calling Manon a grappler and not a Honda, but I don't want to go off on a tangent in the wrong direction. But Manon, let's use Manon as an example. Her drive rush is entirely too slow to get to her opponent. She has a command grab. She has an unsafe, I'm gonna call it a sweep special. It's unsafe. And she has a relatively safe overhead. Those are her options at any given time in the matchup. Alright, and those are the tools that she has to fight her opponent in the neutral. Okay. With that being said, how am I supposed to be beating let's say JP? Let's talk about JP. JP off any touch is basically a touch of death. He's going to get 32% off you. A full screen comboing. Okay. Ken can get straight to you with his Dragon Lash. The point I was making was you don't need just a drive rush. Some of these characters have more than a drive rush. Jury has a dive kick. Cammy has a dive kick. When I talk about the top tier, they literally ignore the neutral. Guile has a fireball that he walks behind, killing the neutral each step he takes. I'm not saying that drive rush is your only option. And to the people that's telling me that, you know, it can be fixed, it can be patched. You cannot patch the soul out of this game. You can't take drive rush from characters. You can't take their dive kicks away from them. It's literally who they are. You know, you can buff characters. You know, if you're gonna fix it, you make everybody the same. That's literally what I would do. You give Manon a safer overhead, give her a safer low, you give her a faster drive rush. You speed Ryu's drive rush up. I don't know what you do with Zangief, because honestly I don't see what he can do. But hey, some characters just won't make it. Like I said, why would you sit there and struggle with one character when you can pick a character that's easier to play? And that was the point of the first video. I'm not saying that the game is a bad game. I have fun playing this game. I actually love playing this game. I never once said this was a bad game. This is one of my favorite Street Fighters. I've heard people say it's the best Street Fighter. I don't have no pushback on that. I just say that the only way that it could be better than Street Fighter 4, let's say Street Fighter 4 for example, the only way it could be better than Street Fighter 4 was if it had a neutral game, which a neutral, and I'm calling it a neutral, but basically you would need matchups to learn. That's what made Street Fighter 4 so fun. Each character had to go through the gauntlet of learning every other character, because their only universal tool was a focus attack. There was no parry. There was no a perfect parry being the biggest thing, because people say, you know, when you're fighting the Honda, all you gotta do is perfect parry him. All you have to do is perfect parry is not a solution. All right, it was the same way in Mortal Kombat 11. You just have to flawless block such and such. I get it that you can do it. I don't have no problem with you being able to do it. I'm just telling you that the average casual gamer will get dominated by a character like E Honda who skips neutral, because we cannot deal, and I say we because I'm in that boat, you know. When E Honda is pressuring me, I already know he's gonna burn my, I'm sitting here trying to block, he's gonna burn my drive meter out. He's gonna headbutt in and he's gonna butt slam. Is butt slam the grab or is butt slam? Well, I think butt slam is the fall move. I don't know what y'all call a grab. I think the majority of people have forgotten he even has a grab. Now let's talk about why I say that the neutral game is gone. Here's the main reason. It's really attached to the drive system. If Street Fighter 6 did not give you all your meter up front, and you had to earn each bar just like you had to earn it in Street Fighter 4, the game would have some longevity to it, because you would be forced to learn a matchup. And I'm not saying start the match in burnout. I'm just saying, let's say you start with 1 or 2 bars. I'm not trying to put you in a burnout, because burnout is a whole different story. And we're not even gonna talk about that yet. Because E Honda can always from round 1 start can already EX headbutt through fireballs, there is no neutral. He's always threatening you to come through and attack. And let's say if you got Manon, I'm trying to simplify by not going through the whole roster. Let's say Manon versus E Honda. Manon doesn't have a fireball, so he's going to use his high punch headbutt to get in, and it's safe on block. So he's steady chipping away at you. And I'm not saying, I get it, you can't interrupt. You shouldn't let E Honda just bully you with headbutts. I get that. But y'all, let's not talk about it from a I can win Evo standpoint. Let's middle of the pack this. Everybody has to play the game and learn it. So let's just say from a casual aspect, E Honda is going to run slap over a character with no neutral skipping tools. Now on the back end, let's say Cammy can fight E Honda, because Cammy has a dive kick. So just as easy as E Honda could get in on Cammy could get back in on E Honda. She has nice buttons, you know. But Ryu, Zangief, I want to throw Dalzim in there, y'all, but I'm not familiar enough with Dalzim. Manon, okay, characters like that don't have a neutral skipping tool, they have to sit here and fight you. Classic Street Fighter. I'm talking about honest. Let's call it what it is. It's honest Street Fighter. And Street Fighter 6 is not for honest characters, y'all. That's literally the only point I'm trying to make. This game is not for honest characters. I'm not trying to tell you that it's a bad game. I'm not trying to tell you to drop the game. The game is fun. The game is very fun. I'll watch a Street Fighter 6 tournament in a second. And I'm sitting here looking for my characters. They're never gonna pop up. You're going to keep seeing the same characters. You're going to keep seeing King. You're going to keep seeing Cammy. You're going to keep seeing Blanca. You're going to keep seeing JP. Every tournament. And what will make it really funny is since Kakaroo won that tournament for what they said, for like $400,000. Look, I don't know if y'all remember this, but there was a Mortal Kombat tournament where Tanya dropped and everybody in the tournament was playing Tanya. I just want Street Fighter to go through some embarrassment like that. Just to point out, okay, JP is outrageous. All right, I want it to be JP. I don't really got a problem with nobody else on the cast. I really don't even have a problem with JP because I don't play the game on the point where JP could get on my nerves. But I just would think it'd be funny if everybody saw JP as the get rich quick ticket, because they're all playing this game for money. And to just pick JP in the tournament, just basically be JP playing Street Fighter, it would draw attention to how broken the game is. Now, again, I say it's broken. You know, I don't have a problem with a few characters skipping neutral. Half the cast skipping neutral is mighty odd, but hey, it just is what it is. But I just wanted to clarify, because I don't even think I'm making sense to y'all when I say that this game, the lifespan of the game is shortened because there's no point in learning matchups. I don't know how y'all could disagree with that. You know, I'm not telling you that 90% of the people that play the game won't be playing it. That's ludicrous. People that love Street Fighter 4 are still playing Street Fighter 4, and you can't make them stop playing it. people that play Street Fighter 5 and it's their first, fighting game, and they love it, you're not gonna stop them from playing it. And that will be the same with Street Fighter 6. I'm just telling you that for the people that just come and go with the wind, they'll leave when Street Fighter 6 loses steam, and you will see, and you may not, it may go over your head, but I promise you, that's all I'm talking about is the people that are looking for a new home. Any game could come up and be, hey, this is my game. They're testing Street Fighter 6 out. But you cannot keep them in a game where there's nothing to learn. That's all my point is. There's nothing to learn. You get on the game, you learn Kami, you're through. Now it's time to jump in rank. Because you don't need to learn how to fight Dalzine. You don't need to learn how to fight Ryu. You don't need to learn how to fight E Honda. Dive kick. It literally is that simple. Just dive kick. Your dive kick has plus frames. Dive kick, hit them at the knee, and attack. Space trap them. Frame trap them, space trap them. Send them in the burnout. KO. If they got a fireball, step back when you get your level 3 and super through it. I don't see no point in sitting there going to YouTube and trying to figure out how to deal with Ryu's fireball when Ryu gets his Denjin. How to deal with Ryu once he gets his Denjin. It's no point. Your offense is good enough. There's no point in even worrying about defense when you got these highly offensive characters. That's all my point is, y'all. I'm not trying to sit here and tell y'all it's a bad game. It's not. It really is a good game. It deserves. People love this game. This game will go down as one of the best Street Fighters ever, and ain't no question about it. I'm just telling you that I knew the moment I understood the drop system. I sat there studying it way back in March. I was telling all my friends, I don't know, man, that's a really big commitment to a fighting game to give everybody a parry, a focus attack, and all their meter up front. Not super, but I'm just saying all your meter up front. That's a big commitment in terms of the longevity of the game. I hope y'all hearing me this time, y'all. I'll keep explaining myself if I'm not making sense, because I know if people disagree with me, I'm sitting here thinking maybe they don't understand what I'm trying to say, because how could you disagree? How could you disagree? How can you fix it? Somebody said the game will be fixed. I don't think it can be fixed, and I'm not telling you to fix it. But if you got a solution that Capcom could do, not that they would, but I would like to hear like a way to tone down the game to the point where, you know, it's at a slower, not too slow. I'm not trying to slow this down to Street Fighter 4, but a slower pace where, okay, now we got something to learn. I say start the game off with less meter. You know, I'm not telling you to start off in burnout. Maybe, how about this? Here's the solution. This is my solution. Since I'm asking y'all to do a solution, here's my solution. You start out with no drive meter in round 1. And you can't go into burnout until you've at least gained a bar. And the bar, of course, is still on that Destiny timer where it's just growing up on its own. But it stops the game from automatically being your super stacked from the beginning. And that's why people keep doing 32% damage combos and perfecting people in, 9-10 seconds. That's all I'm saying. It'll slow the pace down to where it's not so fast. And like I said, you start the game with like 1 bar, and then all your meter rolls over into the next round. So you don't start each round off with no meter, because I think if you add meter management into the game, that would add a fun element to the game. There's no real meter management. I'm gonna burn all my meter, and I'm gonna go into burnout because I'm joking, but I'm just saying I'm gonna burn as much meter as I can because it doesn't carry over. And some form of meter management outside of your supers will be fun. But y'all let me know what y'all think. I hope I'm getting through. I hope this makes sense. I'm not trying to say that the game is not fun. That game is very fun. And I hate to say it, I am a little burnt out, but I know when I key drops, I'm gonna be right back at it. I'm just chilling now because I've played all the Street Fighter I could play. I'm just chilling. I know there's nothing new to see right now. There's no new combos to do. There's no new training mode. I've looked at all the characters. I'm not interested in playing any of the other characters on the cast. I like Manon, and Manon's who I play. I like Ryu. I actually never liked Ryu, but I like Ryu enough to give him a shot. I'd be more than happy to play Akuma, but I don't want to play Ryu anymore. I want to play Aki. I want to play Sagat. I want to play Vega. I would love Goken, but there's never gonna be another Goken. I'm just gonna say that. So that's my opinion on the game. Y'all, I'm going off on a rant in the wrong direction. Y'all let me know what y'all think.